Welcome back to Radio Free Market. I'm your guest host, Zoe Russell, and we're here with Dr. Tooley of Austin College. We've got a caller, Leo from Massachusetts. Leo, are you on the line?
Hi. Thanks for taking the call. What college were you from, sir?
I teach at Austin College.
B-O-S-T-O-N?
No. Austin, A-U-S-T-I-N.
Oh, okay. Austin.
As in Stephen F. Austin. He was the founder of our college. No, he was the founders named the college after him. Sorry.
Now, the thing is that I see the conversion as being very, very difficult when you try to get people to convert from the standard cash system, that they look at you as though you have three heads. And this is the problem. I see a lot of us in the choir understand and get it, but we in the choir have a very hard time talking to the parishioners. And that's where the real major disconnect is happening. And it's a tragic major disconnect that we have to really pay attention to.
So I guess the question, are you as confounded as all of us are, that people continually call the next boom the new economy and the next inflationary period a great thing?
Yeah. Well, Leo makes actually that's a crucial point from the standpoint of some kind of change. And of course, the first part of my answer, Leo, would be that education is a key to it, and it is true that those of us in choir, like yourself and like me, we understand that. And there have to be ways to persuade people, and I think that in many ways this radio show and this network and other endeavors like this are helping. But it is true that there is a kind of sea change that has to take place, and I don't know. It may be that the crisis is the time to make a lot of headway. It is the case that as Robert Higgs has said in his great classic about the crisis nature of Leviathan, that the state has proceeded and grown and been nurtured through crises, and it may be that it's time for the side of individualism to use a crisis to do the same thing. But it's a very good point. Excellent point.
I think to be a little Keynesian about it, I think so many of the people nowadays, their minds are half empty, and that's the real problem. I mean, I talked to a kid just at a gas station just now, and I asked him if he knew about Stalin, and he said, "Who's that?" And this is like a teenager who's like 20 or so. 1920, and it really boggled my mind that when I said a word like that, I said, "Who's that?" So this is what we're having. You are talking to the choir, and we're not getting it to the people, and this is where the major disconnect is. And if we fail to recognize this, our efforts will be for naught. And this is what really scares me.
It's a very good point, and I agree with you. And that could be a whole show in and of itself, I think, Zoe.
I agree. I think one of the great tools we have is Mises.org. That's MISES.org. So if y'all want to get any information on the history of economics, go there and use that as your tool to fight back against these false claims that are reoccurring over and over and over again. And I want to tell you, I went to Mises University, and the students that I met there were unbelievable how smart they were, and it was such a warm feeling to know that around the whole world, young people are waking up to this, and I do think we have to use the crises as the time to spread the message, because people are willing to listen at that time. But moving on, let's just talk about the central bank, and we'll go inside of this confusing, confounding sort of system. Can you tell us the basic structure of the central banking system? The first central bank was the Bank of England. Can you just tell us how it works?
Sure, Zoe, and I'll be especially historical about this, because the the Bank of England, which was founded in the 1690s, really kind of wrote the book on the central bank. I mean, what happened in England was that the merchant control of the economy, at the expense of you might say individual enterprise and so forth, but you might say mercantile control, in which big rent-seeking companies got in with the government and were interested in controlling wealth that was public as well as their own private funds, and so these interests got together and formed up this bank that would, in fact, kind of allow them to buy money when they needed to, sell money when they needed to keep the money on an even keel, to set rates of credit and so forth. And so the central bank allowed the government to exert a greater control over the course of its empire and the course of war fighting and so forth and so on.
Let's take a short break right there, I'm sorry, and we'll come back to our long segment and explain this further with Dr. Hunt Tooley.